Sanje Chudan Zoji Jonola Shanje Bada Dana Jasumji Ake Chishi Jebe Zonamji Rola Benja Zanje Andraba Sho Sanje Chudan Zoji Jonola Shanje Bada Dana Jasumji Ake Chishi Jebe Zonamji Sanje Draba Jo Sanje Chudan Zoji Jonola Shanje Bada Dana Jasumji Ake Chishi Jebe Zonamji Rola Benja Zanje Andraba Sho. Okay. Okay. Good morning again.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning again, you guys.
Good morning.
Good. Okay. I think you can put back this book somewhere. You don't have to hold on. That's good enough. Okay. Good. Comfortable? Good. You very comfortable? Not too hot? Not too cold? It's okay, but it's okay. Yeah. If you're too hot, you can stay a little bit, close the door and more. I'm good. If you guys too hot, you can put your AC on, okay? I'm talking to people on the online. If you're too cold, you can put your blanket, okay? Anyway, this is a beautiful day. Yeah, you don't have much to complain. Anyway, basically, we study about Buddhism. Usually, Buddhism is the one of the methods to taking care of our mentally. Usually, we have to taking care of two things in our life: physically, mentally, right? This is our most important for us. It's okay, my children, my family, my husband, my wife, but basically we have two things to take care: our body and our mind. Accordingly, in order to take care of our body, we need to really beautiful clothes, we need to eat very delicious food. It's not only delicious your tongue, it's things to really good your body, right? Usually the sweet things, chocolates, ice creams, it's delicious your tongue, but it's not very good your body. Then we say, oh, I'm not eating. Therefore, we have to be always very aware of mindfulness, what I'm going to eat, what I'm going to wear, what I'm going to do, to exercise, in order to take care of our body, right? The same thing like, if you have the beautiful flower in your house, you have to make sure there are waters, make sure the temperature, make sure, everything you keep very mindfulness over that. Another, this thing's, physically pretty, it's a easy way, right? Another thing is mental. We have a lot of mental issues always, right? Sometimes we are too happy. Sometimes we got too upset, right? Too stressful. And therefore, we need to taking care of mentally, our mind. Therefore, Buddhism is one of the idea how to taking care of our mind, physically, mentally, how to keep our mind to peace and relax and happy. We have too many different ways about that, how we're taking care of it. Buddha give you 108 books, very big ones. The commentary is 200 books. all inside that, but we're not able to read or study all the books. So the essence of the books to bring together is guide to the Bodhisattva way. Therefore, there'll be more, put small ones like different mind trainings. There's so many different ones. This is how that teaching to taking care of our practice way. Therefore, I think how we aware of mindfulness for our how to taking care of our physical things. Therefore, we need to do taking care of our mind also. And this is not easily to taking care of our mind. The way when we got mad, we say, oh, we recite some mantra, it doesn't work. We research some books, also doesn't work. We need to basically, when we have things doing well, we do more meditation, more familiarize to practice. Therefore, it can do easy to when we have difficult time. And when we have some difficult time, I say, what can I do? Just try to do a little bit of meditation. If your mind's very still, going on a lot of stop things, not try to stop, it doesn't go away. Cannot stop there easily. No, just aware, not investigation, go into that throttle, but just aware, mindfulness that it will go away. It doesn't say that. Not hide that. Okay, I don't want to forget that. Not like that. Just what's going on. Just watch. It will go away. If you try to stop, it doesn't go away. Therefore, we're going to learn meditation, okay? And everyone just sit as comfortable as much as you. Most everyone knows how to do things, but just simple way. If you want to close your eyes or you open your eyes, just for fun. Just aware your own body from your head to knee. Just slowly aware. Then aware of your own thoughts or your own mind. No past, no future, and the person right now. What things are going on with your mind? Just aware that. Not try to stop, not try to something remember. Just the person and the moment right now. What is going on in your mind? When you find that, just aware that, not try to keep that, not try to stop that. Then you touch your own feet or put together your hands. What you're feeling at the moment right now. These are just very simple meditation when you are busy, when you're walking, something's going on in your life, you don't have much time to meditation. This is one of the very simple way to keep your mind with you. Okay, that's good enough. Otherwise you fall asleep, then you're snoring. Okay. Okay, now Tom's here. Are you guys fall sleeping? Yeah, then we say, why I have to study religion? People think that. Now, some people believe religion, some people not believe religion. It's fine. It's individual, their own practice, own belief. Who believe the religion, there are too many different words, many different religions. According to Buddhism, we follow the Buddha. Who's Buddha? The Buddha is the most happiest person in the world. You say, why? Because he is free from all the fears or the sufferings. Therefore, he is the most happiest person in the world. And also, according to Buddhism, we believe he is the most person who has experience to how become happy, how become to peace. Therefore, we follow Buddha's advice, and we really follow that 100%, or mentally become more happy, more peace, more relaxed. In order to do that, we need to also do more study, more practice. It's not happen to you one day you listen, not happen to you one day you meditation. No. Example, in order to, you have to get the college degree. It's not happen one day. Right? You need to study many years. Anything we need to see the result, or even we need to make the very delicious food. We need a lot of effort, right? It's exactly like that. In order to see the result of Buddha's teaching, you need to effort or practice that. Practice means like experience or how to do that way, how to think that way. Therefore, now this stage we're talking about the Guide to the Bodhisattva Way. This is the most, His Holiness Dalai Lama always said, this is the most important text or practice book to transfer our mind. Therefore, I say, you taught it that way. And I think my English is finished. Okay? Yeah, okay. Now my English is finished. I switch off my English, then come to the here. 제가 다 가지고 강달 아니 다 간지 로와이나 대와이나 녀와이나 샹조섬 공바이나 다 텔레 하버지 메와이 말에.
So if we meditate on bodhicitta, whether we are sleeping or walking, or eating, there's nothing more beneficial than that.
와, 진짜 가와 돈도 써봐. 가와 간지 돈라 뭐뭐 갈리 잡는 곰자기 안에 상제도 상제 샘바도요. 상제고 샘 텔레 하바기 냠레 메바든 다 통화를 세월에서 되네요로.
So it is said that Buddhas and Bodhisattvas who have meditated for eons and eons have not seen anything more beneficial than bodhicitta.
오늘 드니 샹주 샘세 간레레 생감도 어떻게 저일래가 드니 벤토 침보 샹주 샘세 간레지거레스.
Now the question can be, what is the bodhicitta then?
아니 대 된다 도로 아니 이제 야와 전반고 뭐 양무도 지나라야 샘제 반을 젠들시 양다도 배 샹준데스. 오다 샹주 샘세 드레레스.
So bodhicitta, which we call the mind generation, so it says in the ornament of realization by Buddha Maitreya that the generation of the mind is to benefit others.
한들테 도전나 간이 젠지 체더 내레간의 체고도 삼벨로시. 젤라 펜토라 체더 nga sanje komoto bondu sambelo tenedoshi.
And so generation of the mind is for the benefit of others, and to gain enlightenment. So since I gain enlightenment for the benefit of others, so that I can benefit others.
다 대세험서는 미 mamboji 남중가디 고아야 보는 미카지다 대고 고아 노르되지 뭐도 아니 소수 비센지도 내가 저도 소수로 당사고 소수가 된다 제가 매워서 그런 동도 나한테 제도자 말이랑 했더니 용도.
And so it's like the generation of the mind is to wish for enlightenment for the benefit of others. So that's the meaning of bodhicitta, wishing to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of others. So this is something that we can all generate. Sometimes we feel like, oh, this is so much, so you're thinking about others all the time. It's not possible, but it is possible.
팀에 대초도 고아 가지 고아라고도 와. 아니 나 소설로 따서 말해서 젠지타 짠짜지나 소설 가로 소설가 안돼 맞아 자로도 내가 제도서 말해서 어딜라고도 되려면 영도 말 가서 저한테 좀.
And sometimes we might also feel that, if I'm thinking about others all the time and, giving up myself, that's not possible. That would be, not possible. They might think like that. So I even had somebody asking me a question, how can I give up myself and just think about others? So that is maybe some kind of misunderstanding.
For
example, you all go to work, right? So when you're working at somebody else's office, right? Somebody else's company. So you're doing the job for them, right? But the goal is, to receive benefit for yourself. Is that right? So you're doing the job for them. You're doing their job, right? Producing their products, but by doing that, you get the wages, right? You get the salary, and with that, you can do whatever you want in your life. So just like that, we pay bills, to our electricity, for water, and for gas and so forth, right? For house. And so all these bills that you pay to them, but you are benefiting from that, right? You're paying the bill to them, but you're receiving the benefit of using those things. So you can think in that way. So in order to receive benefit for oneself, you have to do something for others. Like so like you're paying the bill, for the heat or the cold in your house, right? If you want to be comfortable, either warm or cool, then you have to turn on the AC or heat, right? But for your comfort, you have to pay the bills, right? So if you didn't pay the bill, you will not get the comfort. So when you're paying to others the bills, you're receiving the comfort for yourself.
제가 소수기 곧 제가 대치바로 간지 소수 변다 총관으로 여자 콜 소소 칼라야 뭐 이사 소고이나 대소야게 제도 총관으로 잘라뇨 되게 배제 피게도.
And just like that, if you want to prepare a delicious meal, then you have to go to the grocery store and buy all the stuff to prepare that delicious meal. But for that you have to pay the money to the shop, right? To the grocery store.
미직 쳤잖아. 지난게 내가 지금 배제 차도 미션을 대샤간도 저런 배제 땅 못 올라는 나도 랭까지 돼.
So if somebody says, oh, whatever money you are making, you are giving it away to those stores, not using for yourself, then what would you say?
말이야. 소수 배제 약보다 제도 강화적으로 따더라고.
So that's not true, right? You are giving that money to them, for your own comfort, to enjoy yourself, right?
노지 제가 되잖아. 소수의 제도 딱한지 미션발 내가 제거 날에 배제원데 제거로.
Yeah, so just like that, you for your own benefit, you're working for others or you're paying to others like that.
뭐지? 다대 나지 소소 산제 공부하고는 가르치는 상보레스 공부 마스터바드 가르치는 거는 소지랑 안도 슈체다네스. 당 안도 슈체 뭐대 제워잡네. 제체바도 미첸들로 제와나 제체바 좀 미첸들로 대 공부는 원래 때네. 아니 소소 산제 공부도 그래스. 산제 소소 다주바도 그래스. 소소지가 샹적 셈제 그래스.
So just like that, why we are not able to achieve enlightenment is because we have the self-cherishing attitude. So if you generate the mind that cherishes others, so by developing that mind that cherishes others, you will gain enlightenment yourself for the benefit of others.
Okay.
제가 티가 가는 쟁이 제도 삼바이는 소소를 당시라면도 그냥 소소 된다 제도.
So like that, in that way, so it makes sense right now. So when you're thinking about others, you are not totally giving up yourself. You are doing so much for yourself also when you're thinking of others.
Okay. 제가 두진다. 근데 자주고 셈세대까지 근데 슈카세 침부 검토와이나 이 퇴기 안에 소소 셈라 시대와. 네 소소 고유라의 시대와. 아니 소소 메테야 저보고 강가용 거서와.
And so like that, if you are able to generate that kind of mind, the bodhicitta, then your life would be peaceful. Your surroundings would be peaceful. Your whole life would be peaceful.
Okay. 다 남정아도 샹초 샘조는 뭐지 맞게 받는 지지. 제가 영하면 고내 배워 쇼제 쇼주고 다 제자 차상한테나 되다 특시되는 거.
And so that verse of bodhicitta, it says the precious bodhicitta, body mind, which is not generated, be generated, and which has generated, not declined, but increased more, like that. So that 4-line verse includes the whole essence of the guide to the Bodhisattva way of life.
다 된대기 샹초선 대한 가사도 와서 다 내려야 아니 레거스가 남는도 쭉이로.
So there are like 10 chapters in this the text guide to the Buddhist way of life, right?
제가 안에 되게 당보대 안에 샹초선이 패셔 봤더니 샹초선도 맞자와 아니 자와 고내 배워 드리셔 좀 그러 봐.
The first part of the bodhicitta, precious bodhicitta, the bodhicitta mind need generate where it's not generated.
오다 다 담보대 아니 샹초선 패셔 그래. 패 가지는 저러나 샹초선 패인데 알아서 냠내 친구도 아니 샹초선 셈려야 도나이와. 샹초선 셈려야 쪼아배가 전에 담보 샹초선 셈려 패인지 뭐래 쓰는 거로.
And so these 10 chapters, the first one, which is the benefits of the bodhicitta, and explains about the benefits. So if you understand the benefit, then you will have the interest, or wish to generate that kind of bodhicitta, which has a great benefits. So just like if you see the benefit in that job, good benefit in that job, then you want to do the job, right? Just like that. And then, so in order to generate that kind of beneficial bodhicitta in our mind, we have to remove all the obstacles that prevents us from generating the bodhicitta. And so therefore, the second chapter is called the purification or the disclosure of wrongdoings. And so, so just like if you are inviting a very important guest in your house, then you have to clean up the house very well, and and just like that, in order to invite that kind of special mind in your mind, then you have to clean up your mind properly. And then once you have cleaned up, the mind with the purification, then you invite the special guest of that mind, the bodhicitta. And so the third chapter, which is called the full acceptance of awakening mind, or like actual generating the mind. And then once you have generated that mind, then you have to observe it very well, keep it protected in your mind by being conscientious. So then like, by what we say conscientious means like making sure that adopting what is to be adopted, and cultivating what is to be cultivated, and abandoning what is to be abandoned. So being conscientious about that. So that is what explains in the fourth chapter. It's called the conscientiousness. And that has to be again guarded by mindfulness and alertness. And so that is explained in the fifth chapter. And then what is the biggest obstacle in that is the anger, or hatred. And so therefore in the sixth chapter it explains about the patience and how to overcome the anger and hatred.
Okay, maybe Jennifer, can you go get my class? Getting old, I'm going to see the text. I need to read in class. This is, one of the signs for getting old. Usually I don't need the class now. I need a class. I have to see. Therefore, this is like, very brief explain for each chapters. You can read again, and try to, a conclusion. Not just say, okay, I read one time, I read two times, doesn't work. You need to do something to conclusion, right? And when we make something to boil, but now when we make the butter, do you know how you make the butter? The first milk, right? You shake, and they become the butter. The butter is the essence of the milk. Same like that, when we study like those books, then we cannot just say, I read one time, 2 times, or I studied them. It doesn't work. As His Holiness the Lama mentioned, if you read this book, like maybe 4th chapter, maybe 9 times, you can understand 9 different ways. Did they change the meaning? No, because you get more, knowledge. Then you can also read and meditation that way. Then follow that, then you become a healthy, happy person. Doesn't matter what's going on outside. Because when we got a lot of raining, if you're in the house, doesn't matter what's going on, what is going on outside, it doesn't bother us, right? But we in the house. And we have like peace of mind. Doesn't matter what's going on outside, doesn't much damage our peace of mind. That was just very important to meditation, okay? Yeah, that hasn't done a cover the demon. How come so? Apaching to Sholoka. Yutsani don't go to the show that Kawali attend the Hakman, Kanji Chula, Nism Jusoba City. Dinga Nella do not challenge you about the chill somebody. That Chula Nism Jusoba City Kanmadoa.
And so we were talking about the patience, right? And I don't exactly remember which verse we stopped at. But there are 3 kinds of patience, right? And voluntarily accepting the suffering, the patience of voluntarily accepting the sufferings, and the patience of not retaliating to the harms, and then the patience, with regards, to the difficulties one face when practicing Dharma. And so I think we're on the 3rd one.
Okay.
So I think we're on the verse 22, right? Is that right?
Oh, maybe already gone this.
22. I think we did 22 and 23.
Okay. I think maybe like that.
So maybe we can go through that again. So what he's saying is that normally, when we think about our mind and not being happy, or no, we're not being happy. I'm not happy. This is caused by somebody outside. External things are causing us this unhappiness in our mind.
Because you can read chapter 22, 3, 4.
And so do not become angry with great sources of suffering, such as jaundice, and why be angry with animate creatures? They too are provoked by conditions. Although they are not wished for, sicknesses arise, and likewise, although they are not wished for, these disturbing conceptions forcibly arise. Without thinking, I shall be angry, people become angry with no resistance. And without thinking, I shall produce myself, likewise, anger itself is produced.
Thank you. You have 2 copies. Chapter 6, okay? Okay? And the Tenda Tambo de Kalan Nagaje. Namjunga to Loa, Mazu Kadi, Natamade, what did that Cholone, Kuch, your mooch, your package, your some good.
Yeah, so whenever we are unhappy, we usually, think that, oh, this is caused by her, caused by him, caused by something outside there, right?
Right? It's everyone, including myself. Tandi Kendall, Penangaraso, Nasa moved up and Chipping Nasa, Pecking Nasa, Longanasa, Monagdo. And the Nasa Monagdo.
So we have all these kinds of diseases, right? Like the jaundice and so forth.
And then also Ben and Chiba Navaina, and then Takaja Samancho Mare, Long Navaina, Kondosai Mure. I came to Navana, not to Nisho, Kaji, Yotosharo, the Jena Sandama Mobile, Kaji, and then George Chamanya Malatine, and Nasamo.
And so there's these diseases come up in our body because of the imbalance elements of the earth, fire, water, space, and so forth, so air and so forth. And so whenever these are imbalanced, then we get these diseases. Like when we get the wind disease, that we become very easily frustrated or angry. And then when we have jaundice, and will not be able to digest food. And if you have the another kind of diseases, like where you become your body becomes very fatigued or like tired and feeling sleepy all the time like that. And so whenever we have some kind of disease in our body, it all depends on the many causes and conditions that brings up this disease in our body. It's not like something that just comes up without any cause and condition. And these kind of diseases give harms in our body, right? Give harm to our body. And then when we receive harm in our mind, when our mind is unhappy or disturbed, then again, it's because of some kind of condition that cause us to become unhappy, right? So like when somebody gives you these people, they are like a condition for your suffering, for your mental suffering, right? For your mind being unhappy. So they can be only conditioned, just like the jaundice can be a condition for your suffering, for the suffering to your body, right? But you don't become angry. Why don't you, just like you become angry with somebody, why don't you become angry with the diseases? Because they are also causing harm to you, or to your mind and to your body. So let's maybe do a little bit of meditation or contemplation here on those things, like so you had some kind of diseases in your body, right? Like you had a pain, like the headache or pain in the legs or pain in the knee. So have you ever become angry towards those pains?
Start with stress and unhappiness in your mind. Is that mostly you think leads to your body suffering and disease?
It's not we got disease. Of course, this can connect with our mind, but we're not angry with the disease, right? For example, you have maybe joint pain here. Is a pain, right? You're not angry that, wow.
But it starts with
mentally
frustration and stress. That's what starts the problems for your body.
No. So
when we get pain in our body, right? It's not because of the mind; it's because of the some kind of conditions from outside that causing our body to be in pain, right? And then because of that pain, we can be disturbed, right? Our mind can be disturbed, can be unhappy. And so when you get pain in your body, you don't become angry with that pain. So, this knee pain is causing me to be unhappy. I'm going to be angry with this knee pain. You don't say that, right? You usually will not become angry that you will say, I have a knee pain. Maybe I should go and see a doctor. And so you will think like that. So now we're going to do meditation on this pain that you have experienced, right? Any kind of pain, headache or back pain or knee pain, and think if you have ever become angry towards that.
Right? For example, you sit like that on the chair, then you're not very comfortable, you have to sit down, but you're not, how is it, complain that this is like, I need like that. Something in my body, I need to change. You feel that. You don't think, why this happened? Okay? There's a little bit of meditation there, okay? Any pains, any joint pains, any kind of pains, course, okay? No, I can't do some that I'm going to tell you. So tell her what can you mares. A patient, you need to learn to send you number to the door. A dog can change your colors, Takanje, and then so another what they shall look jet on Jen, Tenjay, Latin, Shoma, and then what can you mares, and then at it, so another Kurusag Medus. Nasag Suzubu to Bonanga Kurusag Medus, or to Songwa.
So just like it says, as I do not become angry, with the great source of suffering such as jaundice, then why be angry with animate creatures? They too are provoked by condition. And so just like it says here, when you have this jaundice and other diseases in your body, you don't become angry towards them. Because why don't you become angry towards them? Because they are also conditioned, for your suffering, right? So for the suffering that you're experiencing, just like that, the animate creatures are also just a condition for your suffering. And why do you become angry towards them?
And they choose
Do you understand that?
Yeah, but because or touch Yamana Namshik in Jatosh, Yamana Kala Sata, Tendri Gelatin Shawanza, and then nothing wrong came with this call. So the subject country and I am going to do some of the telex by Lama Shantideva.
But sometimes we do give excuse, to the diseases. Oh, because of the, the wrong kinds of food that I have eaten, or because of the weather or something, because of that, then I got this disease. So disease came up, so that disease is, is not to be blamed, for my suffering like that, we might think, right? Yeah, so that's true, right? We do things like that.
I was wondering if sometimes people do get angry at getting like a big illness, like maybe cancer, because it's just a version, it's like getting what I do not want can make me angry. You don't want it.
Yeah.
Now, my experience, I don't have, I think, I don't get angry when I get sick. One time I had to have a big surgery and there was months of pain afterwards. I didn't get angry about it, but it just wasn't.
Exactly.
But I didn't know some people, once in a while.
Yeah, of course, some people can come. So I'm not saying 100% white, black. Basically, I'm just saying, we're basically like that. It's not like only that way. It's not like that. Some people get mad, what I get, my sickness kills me, they go very upset. Like that. We not talk about like just only just only this way, okay? 제가 안에 가로. 먼저 챙겨와. 내 코도 빼자. 남중어도 콘도 사대다 마자 쿠제서 무저다 미질라 칸도 카투자 용거로 마실. 다 쿠체탄데 마서 게 마서. 대마요 어치도 고 대네 이제 살모 따다나 아니 소주지지배나 콘도다 샘프데 마총도 그래스. 되게 제대로다. 쿠차 저 사람도 너렇게 제대로 말어.
And so, of course, it's not saying that it's wrong, to get angry towards the disease. I mean, normally we don't get angry towards the diseases, right? Even if it's a surgery pain or cancer that you have, you don't get pain. Maybe you get sad, I have this, or now I have to do something. You get worried like that, but you don't get angry towards them, towards those diseases. And but why do we get angry towards people? So just like the disease, cause harm to us, people, when they cause harm to us, they are not under control. We think, oh, disease happened because of the conditions like that. But when the animate creatures, and also when they cause harm, they're also conditioned by some kind of things, like delusions and so forth, from their side. And anyway, so what we're trying to establish here is that it is not correct to get angry towards anybody or anything.
So whenever
something bad happens, it all depends on some kind of conditions from outside there. So without the condition, they will not cause harm. Without the condition, we will not get angry, right? So without a condition, even if somebody requests you to get angry, you will not get angry.
Flu shot, right? Flu. And flu nana
So when we get flu, we don't get angry, right? Most of us we don't get angry, right? And so you say, oh, I got flu because of this, because of that, so I should be careful not to do that, not to go to such places and so forth. And then you will try your best to cure that flu. You will not get angry towards that.
And have you guys bite the mosquito? Right? Mosquito
So when we get a disease, from the mosquito bite, we don't get angry towards the disease, right? But we get angry towards the mosquito. So the real pain comes from that disease, right? From that disease you get from the bite. But you don't get angry towards that.
And
so then we might say, oh, I don't get angry towards that, the disease, that came from the bite. It is the mosquito who bit me, and because of that, I got the disease. And now you're saying because of the mosquitoes, and then also you can't blame to the mosquito. Mosquito bit you because of some other condition. So you should get angry towards that condition which caused the mosquito to bite you.
Yes,
and so so this in the verse 23, just like it says, although they are not wished for, these sicknesses arise, and likewise, although they are not wished for, these disturbing conceptions forcibly arise. And so just like the diseases arise without any wish for them, the disturbing conceptions or the delusions in people's mind arise forcibly without any intention or wish for it. And so just like the delusions like attachment, anger, jealousy, and so forth in our mind arise without a wish, right? So none of these delusions arise wishfully, do they? And so just like the diseases that come from outside, comes without any wish for it, right? Nobody wish for that kind of diseases. So again, just like in my case, and I had a back surgery, and I still feel the pain, but I don't get angry towards that. There's nothing I can do. And it's painful, but I don't get angry towards that.
이게 제대로다 그 나도 라마 콜 라마 케어 가서 같이 제대 케어 말다 답시 제면도.
So there's nothing I can do but to experience that pain. It's not wished for, but it's there because of conditions.
가제 문제 제인다 다들 나사데 코 사거를 다 손에 대야래.
So although I don't wish for it, but I still have to just go through it.
다제 대나중에 나도랑 대차 셔다 두무제서 문제 제인다 아니 녀모 실로고 되게 야만은 녀모도 슈체베 답이데 깨고 그래서.
And just like that, these delusions arise in our mind unwishfully, because of meeting, or facing with certain conditions.
제가 드네 삼바이나 가르치는 남도질 남중어도 가디나 semba 지보면 갈아야 아니 지 아주 그 제마서 무제마서 가디나 가서 가야다 이거 어디 삼도 맞추는 거래 대충어잖아 아니 소소 생투되가 연구 말해서 인생도 어떻게
So if we think in this way, then whenever something bad happens, we will not blame to others and say, oh, because of her, because of him, I get this experience, and so forth. So you will not blame on others, and that way we will not have disturbing emotions or thoughts in our mind.
Okay, 되지 다들 고송 간지 면도주는 연구를 다들 나지 다 쇼로가 이제 잡주대 갈락도 얘들은 다금 못해서 나를 코로나기 못해서 그 쌈전에 제일 어려서 아니 나다도 놓고 쌈도 그 나가고도 나가고도 되는 쌈도 그니 다금 말해서 그 다 저와놓은 거예요 도발 도난다는 거예요.
And then in verse 24, it says, yeah, but these people who are harming me, they have the intention to harm me. They're doing it intentionally. But these diseases, they don't have any intention to cause harm to me.
들이 남지 타오도 is hard.
Today the weather is hot, right?
제가 내 영어도 그 실록이 다까지 조직은 튼지라 종아식은 로탕하는데 다 남지 타오 차게로 내가 도 코로도 계속 사면 돼.
And we don't, we might be suffering from the heat, but we don't get angry towards the heat, right? This is because of the weather, the time, the summer, because of that, it is hot, and but you don't get, you even though you're not happy with that, but you don't get angry, towards the hot weather, right?
제가 타토를 데려다가 코로 사면 돼. 콜라야 끊어게 요 말이스. 리차니 애니가 코로 사면 돼. 좀 됐던 거다.
So the hot weather doesn't have any intention to cause this discomfort in our life, and so therefore we don't get angry, right? We think that it doesn't have the intention, so therefore we don't get angry towards it.
나도 아니 너무 맨날 소소 다한테 온게 계획에 내차셔다 등모도 졸라야 나한테 코로 깨고도 선배 안 코로 깨마다 이만아 실로건 뒤에 상유 삼발라 나 코로도 깨는 거래스 직바레스 그러면
And then same with the other people, who are causing harm to us, by becoming angry. They become angry and they cause harm to us. But they have no control over their emotions also, because of certain kind of conditions, they become angry and then they cause harm to us. So they don't have that intention to become angry. Because of some condition, they are forced to become angry like that. So just like you don't have the intention to become angry, right? You don't plan to become angry. Say, oh, tomorrow I'm going to become angry at such and such time. Do you plan like that?
We don't plan. We wish we don't have planned that, right? Or we just say, okay, tomorrow I'm going to angry with that person. That person. Of course, maybe we have first time we have some problem, then we have to do again. Then we say, okay, tomorrow I'm going to say this text, maybe the motivation. But first time we don't have, no one has any motivation. Okay, I'm going to get mad this day, that time, that place, this person. We don't have, but there's some conditions, something, situation that we got mad, right? If we don't get the situation, if someone says, can you get mad? I will, give you like with chocolate cake. But we don't get mad, right? And the Shlokan Tinji and the Matana Kutat Kurosagmadua, Sim Trugmadua.
So even somebody asks you to become angry, you don't become angry unless there's a conditions there for you to become angry, right?
And the Zumara Kalana, but that's in the Watanga. Namjunganju Kadi in a chick. So this Kanji Tabit was one of the children and something.
And so this is like kind of debating, with ourselves. And is it really like that? Is it right like that? Because we always think that when we are caused and when we are suffering from some kind of harm from others, then we always blame on others immediately. But it's not like that, and it's not correct to blame the other person immediately because the other person doesn't have control over it either. So not only the person doesn't have control, he or she doesn't have the intention either, like saying, oh, today I'm going to become angry towards this person and cause harm to this person, like that. So, but we might think that, oh, this person doesn't like me, or he doesn't like me, she doesn't like me. I'm sure he has intention to harm me, like that. So if like this, if we think about it, if we contemplate or meditate on like this, then that will help us, as a practitioner, if we think in that way, and that will help us to reduce our anger towards others when we receive harm from them. So, for example, have you caused somebody to become angry? Have you made somebody become mad at you?
Uncomfortable, right? But we don't think, oh, today I'm going to make that person get mad. We don't have any motivation that. But how some situation, maybe some discussion, any kind of situation, then we got. If we don't have even if we don't have any external motivation, but how we act, the other person not happy that. It's true. Do some come any suzu semba chi nyonte ba semla nyonte ba na uni chi mise ke tindi jing ta suzu semba ma chi ba chlo chi re sambe ke sambe lewe kabla ya and then pengre.
And so like that we have to contemplate, think about it again and again and again, and then habituate or familiarize ourselves with that thought, and then when somebody does something bad to you, then you will not become angry immediately. So just by thinking, oh, maybe it's like that, by just by thinking maybe it's like that, we'll not be able to change our mind. Okay, so let's read the verse 25 and 26. All mistakes that occur and all the various kinds of wrongdoing arise through the force of conditions. They do not govern themselves. These conditions that assemble together have no intention to produce anything, and neither does their product have the intention to be produced. So it's very clear, right? It says that all the mistakes that occur and all the various kinds of wrongdoings and all the bad things that we do or wrong things that we do arise through the force of condition. in some kind of condition that made us to do something wrong or make us to make a mistakes. And so that they arise through the forceful condition, right? And so they do not govern themselves, means they don't have a control over themselves. So what he's saying is that whenever we do something bad, we're not doing it intentionally, right? And because of the conditions such as the delusions like attachment, anger, and jealousy, and so forth, because forced by those delusions, we are made to do those things bad, those bad things. So we have no control over that, and our actions are controlled by the delusions.
Okay, this is
so like this is applying to ourselves, right? When we become angry, we have no control over it, right? We just anger just bursts. So there is a condition for us to become angry, right? So if there is the condition, then anger just comes up. There's no control over it. But without the condition, if there's no condition for us to become angry, then even if somebody, asks you again and again to become angry, you will not become angry. So this is applying to ourselves, right? So just like we don't have a control, the other person who is becoming angry at us doesn't have control either. And so that's what how you have to think, about others when they have become angry at you. But it doesn't mean that you have to practice patience and just sit there and take all the the sufferings and beatings, whatever the other person gives you. It doesn't mean like that though. So the main thing is to not have one's mind disturbed, right? If your mind is not disturbed, inflicted, then you will have the peace. So if you have a peace, then you'll be able to give the peace, to the surroundings, to the people or the neighbors in your surroundings. And so, like, we become angry. So, then later we realize, I became angry towards that person. I become angry towards this person. But then, we realize that, I become angry because of such and such things, right? But we don't, see that we are becoming angry without any conditions. We see that there are some conditions, and because of that, we have no control over it. But sometimes then, like even if you are talking with a pure intention, with a good motivation, pure intention, right, to somebody, then that still can cause somebody to become angry at you. Has that ever happened to you? You're talking nicely to that person with a good intention, but then somehow the person doesn't like what you're saying and then become angry at you. Has that happened to you guys? So the main thing is, if we, blame, to those conditions instead of, blaming to the person. So, the person become angry, but that is he or she is controlled by, his or her delusions like anger, ignorance, jealousy, and so forth, like that. If you think that, then that will not disturb our mind, our peace of mind, will not be disturbed, and that's the main reason.
Pechen Ngarang Pechen, Ngaranga Pechen Yano, Penanga Mota Dagat, Mission out to Tapshana. Dam, the one of Komaja, which Shushana, Tangan to Town for sure, Kumi Mata, Min no shores, and some now call the Chodo Maja Korosan.
So, like for example, in my own case, like I had accident. Say if my accident happened in a different way, I was walking down the street and somebody drove, and hit me, with their car, or run over me, and then I get all this, the injuries, and then maybe I will say, oh, because of this person, I got this accident, or or maybe most of you also may think that because of that person, Geshe got into accident, and Geshe got these injuries and so forth, right? And you will blame that person for that. So we all blame to that person, right? So it says that person because that person. But I got into accident by myself, so I have nobody to blame to and nobody to get angry for, right?
This was tenda dodo karlana kanje suzu semma roche cheda hela rawo mare sambaina ane suzu sem de helo yo gore tende samata to wana chula ngese ju so ngone de yo gore do.
And so if you are able to think like that, says, oh, he has no control over it, or she has no control over it. It's because of that, because of this, that these conditions that happen. And so if you're able to think like that, then that would be the real patience of discriminative awareness of the Dharma. And then in the verse 26, it says, even those conditions that caused the person to become angry or caused the person to harm you have no control over it either. So or have no intention to do that. Just as it says, these conditions that assemble together have no intention to produce anything.
Okay. Kanjin do simata kolaya kaya mara, delaya kaya mara, pigala kaya mara, do chene, Suzu Semlachi, Ma Samtoyana, and then Suzu Semai Yo, Leleon, Pangosari.
And there's neither does their product have the intention to be produced. And so if you're thinking like that, then nobody has the intention, and nobody is to be blamed. He is not to be blamed, she is not to be blamed, they are not to be blamed, and so forth. Then your mind will be more at peace, will not be disturbed.
Okay. Literally, that's tentative young there. And then Gomja, do China Gomja Samlo Tang, Tambo Control Masago Samba. I'm doing the day they were called Gomja, Kandirisha, the Yondan Rabi. And some Yabo Tana Semla, random and Travaina, and then Yamle Pentoration, then the Embare, some show Kellen, or that Karo. The reason Kellen go or something not to send a pengamari.
So what do you think? Does it make sense to you? Is it true that it's like that? So you have to think like that at the time when you're not angry, right? Before, when you're not angry, when your mind is at peace, then you should think like that. Oh yeah, this is what is happening. This is what happened. It's because of that. Because of, like that. And if you keep on thinking, then when you really face the condition or situation for you to become angry, then you'll be able to think in that way. So this is the benefit of meditating. Beforehand, before you become angry.
Okay. Any questions? Yeah, Jennifer.
In verse 26, it says that the conditions have no intention to produce anything, but isn't intention and motivation what creates conditions? Wouldn't you say that there's some conditions just don't arise randomly, right? I mean, is there, like, why do we?
깨라 삼바 여마르스 구롱 여마르스 그래서 깨라. 아니 깨인데 다가지도 나오 말아. 구롱도 삼백 전에 깨인데 나오 말아.
엄마 대고 말이지. 아무 그런 사람한테 개요 말. 그 깨는 채면 가라고 그 내부터 처음에 맞지. 당분간데 채고 내 지금서 그런 개요 말해.
No, you don't need an intention to create the condition. The conditions come together, because of meeting the things together. You don't have to have intention for that. Yeah.
근데 미치도 깨지 당복 깨지 야보려 다 그런 도와 개막 개시 갈아야 깨지 시에다가 전에 샘투로 그러와. 대와 그놈에서 코가 깨지 코로나고 좀 그런 요 말라고 그래.
So like when you first meet with somebody, then you started to talk. You don't have an intention, to make that talk, in becoming a fight, but from the way you talk, may cause the other person to become angry and then fight with you, like that. So you don't have the intention at the beginning. Say, okay, I'm going to talk in this way and make this condition for that person to become angry at me, like that. You don't have that intention. So the condition is created, by other conditions coming together. Like it says, like assembly of conditions together.
시당 그런 전에 요 말들 나게 맞다. 간지 내 제고 누워서 그런 다 당보용 말해.
So of course there is an intention, but I'm just saying that there's no intention particularly to create that anger, or that fight in there.
그렇잖아. 들이가 주소 쓰고 그러는 것도 좀 그런 것도 요 말이야. 남도 더 깨지 타네 그 밥들 안 올랭도.
So just like you don't have the intention to make the person angry, but because of something happening or something being said or done, the person become angry.
그렇잖아. 실로건 된지 계자 남시 더워지 내가 참아다 전에 애팅아도 코로나데 제가 담보 그런 건데 코로나고 좀 그런 요 말이야. 제나도 그래서 저 그런도 요새 그래 봐.
So it can be any kind of condition, right? The weather, the job, the people that you meet with, all this can be a condition, for your anger to just rise like that.
Today's very hard for sleeping. Then like small things can get really difficult, destroy our mind. Yes.
Would that condition be karma? Yeah, those moments of karma when all the conditions come together at that point.
This is karo. He lesser karo. Lesser yero le resalo.
leg race 그러다.
That the lady, that they are. 제가 텔레 코가도 라와요 말. 콜레데 사샤요다 콜레 그래서.
Yes, of course, we have to have created the karma and to have that condition to come together also. If you have not created the karma, then again, the condition will not come either.
제가 다 레나 코 기주자처럼 해라. 다 콜레나 데마 사가 레스타에 코 기주자 메레 진짜 도대체 요말데 요레 레가가 메워서요. 샤 요레스.
Yeah, so you will not have condition if you don't have the karma. But if you don't have the condition, you will not ripen the karma either. But if there is a karma and the conditions come together, then nothing can stop it. So if you have a karma to have a ceiling fall on you, and then there has to be condition, right? The karma is there, for the ceiling to fall on you, but there has to be karma. Condition. So if there's a condition like broken beams or something like that, then you to definitely fall on you. That's nothing you can do. If there's a karma and condition together, it will happen.
But le kundu le sasawaina. The let me also yoma. The let me also yoris. Kundu le ta le yoina ni kun jujuta memoro re kun samro da te maris. Le me also yore le.
Yeah, so but if the karma is not met with the condition, then it will not ripen, right? And so before it meets the condition, you can purify the karma. And once you have purified the karma, then there's no karma to meet with the condition. Then then there will be no suffering, so nothing to ripen there. But as if you have the karma, and if the conditions meet with the karma, then you will experience the result. So you have to prevent it before the karma ripens. You have to prevent the conditions. So like you have a karma to get wet from the rain, but if you didn't put the ceiling over your head, then you will get hurt, you'll get wet. So you have to prevent that condition from arising before that in the midst of the karma for you to get wet.
And
so just like before we become sick with certain kind of diseases, we have to be careful not to get that disease. Like if the disease comes from eating inappropriate food and like that, then you stop eating those foods and so forth, right? But if once you have not prevented those conditions, and there already is a karma for you to get sick, then you'll get sick like that. So before you become sick, you can stop it, by preventing, those things that causes you to become sick. So just like that, you can prevent the conditions arising from for that karma to ripen, or even before that you can purify the karma. So once you don't have the karma, then you are free. You don't have to experience that result from the karma.
Okay. Otherwise, people karma. Okay.
Who's that? Andrew? You have a question?
Andrew?
Yes. So with people who are overcome by anger, it's like the forgiveness on our hand as religious practitioners is that a lot of the time, like let's think about ourselves, like they're so overcome by their emotion that they're almost like powerless to it. Is that where I guess the forgiveness comes from? Is that it's not like like as you say, they don't intend to become angry, but they make harmful actions because they have a lack of control over their emotions. And then the second thing I was thinking about is when we think back on our past misdeeds, like, is it better to think about to not, like, guilt can be good in terms of like, oh, I feel bad I did this, but is it better to be more like, I feel regret in terms of I don't want to drown myself in guilt, but I also don't want to do that action again. So I guess what I'm trying to say is it like when we're trying to feel regret, is it okay to have an aspect of like remorse and guilt along with that, or should we try to entirely move on from the guilt aspect?
That's down to that middle kondo a직 제랑스 요마라 자 라메시는 코노세고라 다 미카시안 코도스 베 룽초우 슈도데 아데저 룽초우 요데 데소 미게데네 캐런 코노 사바이나 데네 가르다 코란 코로란시 데데레스 데네 콜라다 공버테 샤레기 칸데레스 공버테고 레베스 다 지단도라 다저 룽초우에나 메나다 미카시 수직이 저런 룽랑바이나 데네 공버테지로라 난제는 아니 다 소속의 재단 마디고 샤네 되네 미치라 너버자바이나 응가 당에마 되네 제사란지 소로 제 여버게 거래게 다들 여버마게 되네 다 개마다 딕서라 디게르 개마다 딕서 사사라다 나네 도샤오레스
I think I'm gonna just almost.
다 당부대 가서 미시다 가서 코로 사바나 달라 고다 되주레스. 고다 슈라 바 고다 슈반다 케마다 다 콜라 케마 코다 지전에 코라는데 게임기 전에 코로 사바라는 데는 코라들은 공부 되주레스. 공부 돼서 하고 사잖아.
야,
미시다 소리 라바나다 콜 네 소켈라도 그러다.
그래.
공부 돼서 되다. 아니야 다 신다데다 소속이 다 독자 제바이나 들려 줘봤기는 되거래기 아니야 다 개마다 딕살다 차차라는 도셔왔어.
딜레가 담보대다 공부해야지 이제 공다들 라 로고 기자마 가지 소소 공로 말아서 그래. 양잡된 발로
미시다 소속 공부 때문에 사서 미시다 소속 공부 하면서
미션바 소소로 공로 사와이나
공부 사바나 다 코로나시 코로나시 코로 롱서 주절 미디 다 개마를 코로나처럼 코로나 마서 저 콜라 디쳐들 디쳐거서
에다데 미 코로나 라시 공로 사와이나 소소 대치 가로 아칼로
또 거기 삼신도 거르치고 말
야 제자 매와데 소소 때라 가로 내가로 맞세와이나 소소 공로 사고 말해
그래 다데자 거다 콜라 공부 되주랬어 공다스는 공부 개마서 나는 다 forgive 주주랬어 forgive said
에데 제트나 야보다 제 마다나 간지 소소 공로 마다나 리데가 가지 양점도 탑시와 맞이나 소소 공달라네 미 파조야 빠지나데 용거와 샘 공로 마사와지 야 남주지 땡거요 말이야
다 말해요. 다 빠져라 말다. 그러니 다 개마고 개마다 인주는 가서 개마다 되게 삼바들이다.
어때 삼네
카메 삼바들.
어때 삼네 야 어때 삼네 야슈들에
네. 다 니버데 그러니 저밖에 봐이나 되네. 가서 니버데 소소랑 게 독자 쳐봐이나. 들려 저밖에는 당연히 무슨 아직 셈버 부서져 되거래기 다 개마 딕살다 차사라는 도셔.
맞다 네데 너르데 다 먹어봐 대나지 양조들이 지금 해서 무슨 something 그래 다 너지 너사래 다 대답 먹어봐 지금 해서
So yeah, of course, if you can forgive, that's the best, so that will not disturb your mind, and of course, for anybody, even that person has a very strong nature, of becoming angry at people, or not, whenever they do something bad to you, then you should just think, oh, it's because of ignorance or because of certain conditions they're doing that. They're not to be completely blamed for that, and that thinking that way, if you can forgive, that's the best. And then, but when you do something bad from your side, and of course, it's good to feel regret, and so regret is always needed in order to correct that mistake. So if you don't feel regret, then you don't say, oh, it's okay, and then you might do that again. So if you feel the regret, then you feel, oh, that was bad, what I did, I should not have done that. I'll make sure I don't do that again in the future, like that. So when you do that, so that kind of regret is good, to have that regret, and of course move on by thinking that, oh, I should not do this kind of things again in the future.
Yeah,
does that make sense? Yeah, you don't have to feel so bad, think that, oh, I did that, I shouldn't have done that, I did that bad thing, and remorse, and just sit there like that, not that, but you have to move on by thinking that, oh, I'm not going to do that again in the future, and that.
Okay. Any other questions? Yes.
Sometimes I think, like when afflictions arise in someone, but then I think, well, they might still have the affliction, but still they should behave, because if I had that affliction, I would not do something to disturb someone else. Like maybe even somebody doesn't want to wait in line, they just go right up to the front and they just ignore everybody else. And I think, well, I might be in a hurry, but still I'm going to wait in line. I would control my action, even though I have some affliction arise.
So what's your question?
So the question is, I tend to get angry at people because they don't control their afflictions. I expect them to control their affliction, not that they can't control that the affliction arises, but they could still control their behavior, is what I think. And then I get angry for that reason. So how should I think?
그 제다라 가지는 맞다 따오데 나 메모모 거 강에 제가 집어태겨 다 소소 집어태겨 말았다 수제 시리즈 맞는 야다 가지
Yeah, not it's better not take it too seriously.
베드는 뭐 마음을 배나 나도 파티는 미치 파버를 해봐이나 배나 민주시 파티나 미치 파버리나 민주시를 강간염도 채워라 와 내가 주보 말아 와 근데 소소 주보 코너다야 나 소소 두존 잘 오라
So like there are 20 people in the line. When one person cuts the line and goes in the front, right? And that person is causing harm to just you or all the 20 people in the line. Right? And but if you become angry, then you're the only one who's caused harm. If you don't become angry, then you're not caused harm. Yeah. So if you say, oh, it's okay, that person is ignorant, that person is not behaving well, but that's nothing I can do, I can't expect that person to be like that. He has to learn himself. I can't blame him like that,
야 배는 남주들 배나 토모고 강에라와나 소소 미치게한테 바로 소소 다한달래 말로 맞잖아 야 소소 강에 용어요
그래서 밑 뭐뭐 나와?
마음보는 거 토모고 강에라와나 소소 찍게 깨게 가로 다한도 말려나 야요
Uh-huh.
대전에 소소 코르다서 대전 안에 소소저랑 딱눈 더 말어 이제 소소
강도 말라야 가랬어. 강도 말라야.
배전에다 소바지가 강에라고 해봤나 소소 주보 텔피 노래 되잖아다 소소 강에 많다 그러와
아니
시단대 잡혀 체고다나 야 소소 노래 되네 딱미 담보도 맞지와나 소소 강에 총으래
So if there is a problem in a group, right, in the big group, and if you don't go in the front, and fight for that, then you will have less problem, less suffering.
왜 집에나 차도 배나 컴퍼니가 소바가 배나 컴퍼니 내가 정해지나 비컴네 다 소소딩 스바바든 로치나다 말해라와 아이 내가 정해지나 수준 뇌라 덤바네 수소야 강에 마트 뇌를 마도 거기 냠냠 들어되나 수소 강에 총하는 거지
So like you're working in the company, if there's a problem in the company, and if you are the supervisor or manager, then of course you have to come in the front, to and tackle with that. But if you are just like a common worker with others, and if you don't come in the front, to tackle, then you might face problem, but it would be not big problem for you.
지금 삼성가도 샘축 전부터 이제 샘가로 샘아춘다 땡지마도 나래 아니 강에 강한테 냐되고 용도
So some people like they are very honest or brave in some way, right? And they have more concern for the company, for the job, and then they come in the front, and then they are the only one who's facing all the difficulties, and others don't care about it, and the person who's coming from the front will face the difficulties.
Okay. 제가 미강가 개념도지는 소소대로 봤지 마지막에 그 소대대는 소소강이 중요한 것 같았지.
So if everybody is doing something, then of course you do because you're in the group. But if nobody is doing, then you just stay in the side and just share the problem, and there will be less problem for yourself.
근데 미리 네 쪽에 마음이 미가가 로바지 소소 찍고 티도 말아 아니 소소 이거 러시아다.
So like if there is a big table to move and nobody's coming in the front to move it, then you can't move it by yourself alone, right? So then you just also go with others and just leave the table there. So it's a way to like escape the difficulties.
제가 가디나 나도 그러고 제가 남주변 뭐 학삼 전에도 빼 강에 망아 중에들 학삼주도 저래 빼나 쇼도 소비 강에로나.
So usually like people who are more altruistic people face more difficulties, right? And especially in the society, in the community, when they come up in the front, like with the concern for others or for the society, and with those kind of altruistic people with altruistic mind, with the thought to benefit the community, benefit others, and they come in the front, then they face most difficulties.
그래도 수수 제거에 대체 아니 파초 가지 다다 먹자 뭐지. Like that. Yeah, there's so many things, so many different way things to, how you say, skip the problems, hide the problems. Not hide, how you say. But you are,
Rather move away from the problem.
move over the problems. Need to be really skillful.
So when you say come up in the front, when you were talking, you mean that someone would come and address that person who was creating a problem? Is that what you mean? When
Well,
you say
actually, Geshe means like taking the responsibility.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
If someone's taking the group problem, someone's big responsibility taking, other people just watch them. If you don't care, I don't care, just leave that. Like that is better. Otherwise, everyone just watching that, you are getting the responsibility, then you get a lot of stressful, right? If you don't care, I don't care. Just leave. This is how to, I don't know, that pa you so and the shiving so
So that's like a way to lure away from the problem, not taking the community problem onto oneself alone.
I guess can't check that.
If it's the personal problem, then of course, there's nothing, nobody will share with you. So you have to face it yourself.
About setting an example for others.
So,
Sorry?
If you have a community that isn't engaging, to solve the problems, and only one person does, could they be setting as, what if they were doing it to set an example for the community?
다른 가서 처벌하던 애가 저소리라 거글다야.
그거를 나대 그 땅도 내가 제대로 소소 내가 제다. 그거 컴비네로 바꾸고 해나.
Yeah, I mean, of course, if you can take the responsibility, that's good. That's good. It's really good, with the altruistic intention to do the work, for the community, for the society. But but of course, there's sometimes always difficulties that you have to face, with that. And especially if you are working in a company, where like in a commercial place, and where you have to face these problems, then without much benefits, you face these problems, it's no use.
다 가더라는 소소 담켜보자. 이제 소소기 샘때 만투와체 다 미토더라. 아니 소소 샘때 시라 만투와체 다 대된 제 가르치는 되겠다.
Yeah, so even in the community, if you do the work for them, then make sure that whatever you're doing doesn't disturb your mind. So at the end of the day, you do all this good work for others, but then if that is causing you to be disturbed, then that's not really good. So you have to, be balanced.
Okay, yes.
Mr. Shantideva, for example, I am a supervisor and my subordinate do something wrong, kind of not integrity, but I have to take responsibility because of not integrity. So how can I handle not because of being legal or whatever, I just say handle in my handle.
You have to very skillful way to not show the emotion. It's as much as you can. But how do you have to handle that, but not very emotional way, very skillful way. That's all. Jennifer, you got her question right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, no, I don't.
How's my answer? Correct way? Yeah. It's not like not showing the very strong emotion, but you have to handle all the situation, but not destroy your mind. If you destroy your mind, you're not also able to handle the problems. You need to calm your own mind, then handle the problem to skillful way. Right? Yeah, it's not easy, you go with the sport, but it's not, everyone complains, go sport. Okay. 제가 도시는 간다. 다 가지고 경직 망보시에 된다 쭉 가르나. 아니 소중한 강 주듭지 아니 소중한 샘대 마투와 제타와데 빼내 갔다. 내가 데려다.
So the most important thing is, to not disturb one's mind. So of course, when you're working for the benefit of others, there's always problems. You do your best from your side, and but most important thing is to not get disturbed your mind. I mean, like not have these delusions arise in your mind because of that. Yeah, so this is the main and the purpose of the study and also the practice, is to have a peace in the mind. So this is the main thing, I'm talking about, is to bring peace and no disturbance in your mind. Otherwise, I'm not saying that you should not take responsibility, to work for the community or work for the company and so forth.
And the family
so, like especially if you're in the family, and with many members, in that, then you have to take the responsibility.
Okay, like that. That means also study Buddhism means try to make you need to have more relaxed mind. Buddhism is more nervous. It's not good. Therefore, Buddhism is a very simple way to practice, to just keep your mind as much as you can relax. A lot of things we cannot change. Like, they're not.
We have no control over them.
No control, yeah. We don't have control. Today, weather hard, we have no control. Right? If you put AC too hot, too cold, and if not AC, we too hot. A lot of things we don't have control.
Because all the external and internal things are depending on conditions, so there's no much control we have over that. And so if we are able to think in that way, that will definitely help. This is my own personal experience.
Except
so we have no control over it. So if we just accept, then it will be easier for us to have a peace of mind.
The accept is
so it doesn't mean that you just have to bear with it, like say, it's very hot today, and and it's hard and just bear with it. Doesn't mean like that. If there's a way you can overcome the heat, by going in the shed or by turning on the AC, you can do that. Doesn't mean that it's no control over it. It's a karma, and I just experienced it. Not like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's not what I mean by accepting.
Okay, I think you stop. Not talk too much. Okay, I hope if you get small piece to understand, get something to when we talk or study, try to read this again, think more, then skillful way to survive our life and enjoy our day. There are a lot of things we enjoy. Whatever we have, a lot of people doesn't have. We enjoy that way. Our mind become more relaxed. Always become problems. This problem, that problem, that problem. The problem never go away. Always come. One go away, another one come. One go away, another one. Just you can say, okay, today is like a beautiful day. I'm able to go to study, practice. I'm very lucky. Beautiful weather, summer. I think that was better. I said, oh, it's too hard, not raining, or looking for the opposite some. And we always only find the faults. Okay? Then this is a text very important. When you have time, you can read sometimes. You don't have only this one. You can reach fourth chapter, second, third, fourth chapters. Okay. Okay, now we stop.
Page 39, Thanksgiving Mindful Offering. Etun lame kute rapin chim, lapka trinle chokshu gi padam, mosam ten pedren ne sasungi, drove munso katu ne gyurchi. Idam guru rana mandala gunaya dayani. Page 43, the short long life prayer for His Holiness the Dalai Lama. In that snow mountain encircled land, source of every benefit and joy, revered Tenzin Gyatso Chenrezig, remain in life till samsara's end. Savior, the snowland teachings and transmigratory beings who extensively clarifies the path to unified emptiness and compassion, to the lotus in the hand, Lord Tenzin Gyatso, I beseech, may all your holy wishes be fulfilled. Page 49, the short long life prayer for Lama Zopa Rinpoche. You who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Majina's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplishes the magnificent prayers honoring the three tools, Savior of myself and others, your disciples, please live long. Page 57, the prayer of dedication. Through this virtue, may I swiftly, having gained Guru Buddha's state, place each and every sentient being without exception in that state. Precious supreme Bodhi mind, may ever unborn arise, born never decline, but increase forevermore. Page 75, Niksema. Nigme se vete chen rezi, rime kente wan po jam el yang, dang jen ke pe su ye zong ga, o sang ra te java so de.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Bob, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you, Geshe Tenley.
You got Sheila.
Thank you, Geshe.
Teaching
Thank you.
class Wednesday at 7 and then Lama Zopa Saturday at 5.
Next Saturday. Yeah, good night or no good night. Good day. Linda, good night.
Thank you,
Ed,
Geshe.
where are
Thank
you?
you, Geshe. Thank you, Damsha. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you,
Hello.
everybody.
Thank you, everybody.